Welcome to JoTea. I'm Jodie, and let's spill that Married at First Sight Australia tea. It's our first real week, and these bitches are getting on my nerves. Casting team. I'm actually, you know what, we're past the experts. They don't do the matching. Casting team, we need to have a chat. I just don't understand where you find these people. I don't understand what you tell them. Do you tell them to make storylines? Are they fake? Is Gia and Beck really best friends and you told them to pretend to hate each other? They're hating each other a little bit too perfectly. But first up, we got this Mel bitch. I really do not like this woman. I don't know what her issue is. We have got, obviously, the dinner party, and she walks in there. The first thing she says is, oh my god, I've been dying to talk to anybody other than my husband all week. You would think she's been matched with one of the worst Married at First Sight contestants. You need to let me know who's the worst Married at First Sight male groom you've ever seen. We'll match Mel with him for Married at Second Sight. How about that? How about let's really match her with somebody terrible just so she can get a taste of it? Because Luke is a slice of perfect compared to all the other guys we've had on the show. I can 100% say that Beck is extremely jealous of Gia. I don't even know if it's jealousy that Gia holds towards Beck, but I know that they're both deeply insecure because the way they're hyping themselves up that, oh, when we get to this dinner party, I hate this bitch, we go on a beef all night. You met this girl once and you're telling your husband, your now husband, that you can't wait to get to the dinner party because you're going to fight with this girl. Actually, why? Just mind your business, go with your husband, ignore the bitch, and move on with your life. Because what are we actually doing? But before Gia arrives, Beck is telling everybody she's so terrified that Gia is going to be Danny's type. You're projecting your own insecurities by saying, oh my god, of course she's going to be his type. You're basically saying you think she's going to be every guy's type, which is just like saying you think every guy is into fake and plastic, which they're not. And that's not Danny's type, because I literally seen a clip of him saying that his type is the exact opposite. He doesn't like fake and he doesn't like plastic. If Beck took 5 minutes to listen to her husband instead of thinking that he's looking at everybody that walks past him, she'd realize that Gia is not his type. But it's really funny because then when Gia does walk in, Beck walks up to her and hugs her and is like, you look so great. And it's like, you bitches are fake as fuck, because why not just be real? You don't like each other. Why are you telling each other you look great and you like your dress, and then on the other camera you're saying I hate her dress, she's wearing green because she's envious of me? You think everybody is envious of you and everybody's obsessed with you. They're not. But instantly, Gia thinks that Danny is looking her up and down and he's obsessed with her. He doesn't like his own wife. He doesn't like Beck. He likes her. Everybody likes her. If you didn't get that message already, that's the message. Everybody is obsessed with Gia. I felt so bad for Steven because when they got to that sit-down meal, firstly, you can tell he is not good with groups. He doesn't like sitting in groups of people that he doesn't know. I don't know this guy, but that's the impression I'm getting. He's very shy. This is a whole group of people he doesn't know. He doesn't even remember the guys he was on the stags to with. But Gia is on this whole rant. She wants to know how many people have had sex, and Steven is like, oh well, you know, we had a few hiccups on our honeymoon. He doesn't even mean to say it, but the words just come out. And I'm actually so embarrassed for everybody sitting at this dinner table because they jumped on him like a pack of hyenas talking about, oh my god, tell us your gossip, we need to know, why did you fight? And it's like, you bitches are fucking weird because you're all pushing 40 talking about why did you fight, tell us why you fought. Mind your own business. You guys are here to find a husband, right? You guys are here to get married, not to be in everybody else's business, right? At least that's what you're telling the story as. The whole dinner party was literally about Gia asking everybody if they've had sex, because they're the strongest couple because they've slept together. If you didn't know, that's what makes a strong couple. Knowing somebody for less than a week and all you do is sleep together, that's what makes a really strong, long-lasting couple. And her and Scott are the strongest couple to ever come out of Married at First Sight. If you don't think so, then you're just a hater. One of Gia's lines from tonight was, maybe Danny is not so happy with Mrs. Grinchy because he keeps looking at me a bit too much. I did think that Beck looks a little bit like a Whoville. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, it's okay. Is that why Gia is calling her Mrs. Grinchy, or is it because she's wearing a green dress? Someone let me know, because she does look like she's from Whoville. I genuinely think Beck and Gia's obsession with beefing with each other will be their own doing on this show. The only other thing that we had at this dinner party, aside from them wanting to know everybody's sex history, Mel literally gives nothing to Luke. She's given everybody else her personality. She was literally making it known to him, look, this is my personality and I'll give it to everybody else to show you I don't like you. And that's what she was doing to him all night. And I just don't understand what her issue is. Her issue apparently is because he watches the TV too loud and he doesn't turn it down. But she doesn't ask him to turn it down. He should just read her mind. Also, she doesn't like him because he's not blonde with blue eyes and surfs. and he's not Bradley Cooper. And I actually just don't think she knows what she wants. She did admit Luke is trying a lot more than her and that she wasn't being the nicest person. I mean, at least you have an inch of self-reflection. We had Revelations week, and obviously this is the week where everybody is ranking each other and then they ask questions. It's kind of just a week to get to know each other. The first one was Brooke and Chris. They had to watch each other's audition tapes, and she's seen Chris's comment about how he said he doesn't like fat people, he doesn't like people that wear fake tan, and he doesn't like clingy people. She really did make a huge fuss about the fact that he said he doesn't like fat people. It's given performative. I do not think that she was as offended as she was acting because she knew she was on camera. I don't buy it, not even for a second. He did tell her, he said this in his audition tape, because it was behind closed doors, it was just locker room talk, it's how he talks with the guys, he doesn't have girlfriends. I'm not buying that shit either. I think they both are very aware they're on camera. But yeah, they've fallen out over this, and it's given them 2 steps backwards. I mean, there was never a step forward. You were not interested in him to begin with. For Gia and Scott's Revelation week, she let him know that she's had a sugar daddy in the past and he's fine with it. He doesn't care. So I mean, maybe they are a match. She's really obsessed with being this power couple. They both kind of are. They keep talking about how they're the strongest couple here. They're the power couple. In the lineup for the guys, she put Danny as number 2. That's very interesting. Not to me though, because it's very clear she likes Danny and she's in competition with Beck. She said she only put him as number 2 because he's got tattoos. Scott's video revealed that he's not interested in having kids, and he doesn't really care to be with somebody who does have kids. You know, he doesn't really mind once he doesn't have to pay school fees. This tipped her over the edge. She's really stuck on this school fees things, and I want to know why. Because yes, you've had a sugar daddy in the past and you were a Playboy bunny, so you're really stuck on this school fees thing. Do you need somebody to pay for your kids' school fees? Apparently he also told her before that she can have this spare room in his house to be her makeup room, and she's like, you've told me I can have your spare room for my makeup room. What about my daughter? She's coming with me wherever I go. He's telling her that the audition tape was made before he even knew she existed. He doesn't care about her having kids. He's told her that, and she needs to move the fuck on. But then producers asked him, what's her daughter's name? And he had no idea. Power couple. Beck and Danny's whole storyline this week has been about being no sexual chemistry. That's what they're struggling with this week. But honestly, I think that it's Beck just putting these walls up because Danny seems like he's really trying. Danny seems like he's a bit terrified of her. When it came to the girls lineup, he actually looked like he was gonna throw up. He went to the balcony to get some fresh air and he just threw the girls' pictures out the window because he ain't even getting into all of that. She would have analyzed every single freaking rating. By the end of Revelations week though, they were back on track. And I'm glad for them because I am not here to listen to them cry about the same shit for the next 8 weeks. I'm glad they're back on track, even if it's for 5 minutes, because I don't think it's gonna last long. Now, Luke and Mel have been the main focus of this week for me. He is becoming a shell of himself, and it is actually painful to watch. I wish the producers just wouldn't have done this to him. When they did the lineup challenge, he put her first and she put Grayson first. That's not the worst I've ever seen on this show, so I wasn't too mad at that. You can see that it really did upset him. I do feel like we really need to protect him for the rest of the season because I don't see this getting better. When one of the questions was what's the worst thing she's ever done with like an ex or something like that, she said that she drives past her ex's houses just to make sure that they're still home and they're like in their house with the lights on crying over her. I don't think that's what they're doing in there.
The most shocking thing I did after a breakup was get in the car with my friends and drive past his house multiple times during the night time to make sure he was home. Multiple times in one night. We would do laps, yeah. Go to Servo, get a treat, laps. Laps.
Really?
Yeah. Best time of my life. And if his car was there, it meant that he was home. He was too sad, obviously, to leave his house. After we drove around my ex's house, we would go to my friend's ex's house and then we'd drive around there. So depending on whose heart was broken that week or that month, that's the house we would focus on. So it wasn't always me.
She also creates fake accounts so she can talk to them through it. She's actually crazy. He needs to make a run for it because what do you mean you're still driving past your ex's houses? That's her night out with her friends. Her and her friends will get in the car and drive around all of these ex-boyfriends' houses just to make sure they're home. Fucking stalking. And congratulations, because now they will know about it. He eventually told her that he needs some space. His positivity is running out. He's been trying way too hard and he's getting nothing back. So he needs to go and just stay with a friend for the night and clear his head. Her response response to this was that it's given her the ick that he keeps sulking all the time. And it really upsets her because at the wedding, Luke was such a great guy. Okay, but you've literally hated his guts since the wedding and turned him from that great guy to a ball of anxiety. You did this. This is women's problem because they will destroy a guy in 4K and then say, oh, it makes me really sad because they were a great guy, you know? I don't know why they turned into such a bitch. You did it. You did that. When he returns to the apartments though, his sisters have had a field day on social media, and honestly I don't blame them because I would too, because what do you mean you're playing my brother who is a literal teddy bear and you're in his face literally playing? Of course I would drag you on social media. She went crazy at him when he got back. She told Luke that it really hurt her and that she thinks the comments came from him and not his sisters, because how would they know that? He told her it's been really hard for him. He's been given everything for the last week and she's been given nothing. Her response is actually driving me nuts. Her response to him was, do you really think you've been trying hard this week? Because you made my life a living hell. Do you know how it feels to be so isolated? Because I did it to you on the honeymoon and now you've done it to me this week. Well, if you know that you did it to him on the honeymoon, you don't need to ask him, do you know how it feels to feel isolated? Because you've done it to him 10 times over and you're very aware that you did it. Honestly, all I heard through that whole thing was Kim Kardashian. If you know how I feel, why would you say that? That's all I heard. Whingy voice, get out of here, you're fake as fuck. Everything that's coming out of her mouth is ridiculous. He told her he had so much anxiety coming back to this apartment. He didn't come back for this argument and sitting there is giving him incredible anxiety. She tried to claim that she also has anxiety. She's tired of him playing the victim card. I'm just tired of her, period. But then the experts introduced this great thing called red and green flag. Who told them this was a good idea? They literally split up the bride and the grooms and said, come into this room and tell us everything you love and everything you hate about your partner. Literally just a bitch fest. I just think that was the stupidest thing I've seen them do. They're literally promoting drama. Just say that you want these relationships to crash and burn. Beck confirms for us that she is just deep-rootedly insecure. She says her red flag is she thinks that Danny thinks that he's punching. I mean, you can't think for him. He's told you multiple times because you've asked him that he doesn't think that. So you need to take his words and believe it. Of course, Gia egged this on though and said, yes, he does think that. Nah. Beck got back at Gia by calling Scott an airhead, which is now their new beef storyline. Honestly, I think all of them are airheads. None of them have a brain cell to rub between them, except for Stella. Rachel also really pissed me off in this. She went in and told the whole group about Steven's insecurities and the fact that he used to starve himself so he wouldn't be overweight. Can we actually stop? That's where you cross the line. You need to respect your partner a little bit more than to stand in a room and tell everybody, I respect him so much because he starved himself. Are you fucking dumb? That's talking badly about your husband. Like, you telling them you respect him for that is just nasty. Don't go out there and share his insecurities to a whole room of bitches. They're really here though for attacking Stella and Alyssa this week. They've made me like Alyssa. I didn't really have an opinion on her. I didn't like her from her wedding episode. At the dinner party, she kind of kept to herself, to be fair, but they're really here for hating on her. They keep calling Alyssa fake. Personally, I don't know. I don't think she's fake. I think she's just Harley Quinn crazy. She was up there and she was talking very highly of her husband. They would not accept that. They were like, it's fake. It's a showmance. We don't believe you. It's all fake. I don't think it is. I think her and David actually seem to be really great together. Stella has no red flags for Philip, and why did they have a problem with her having no red flags but Gia having no red flags was no problem? Double standards. They don't like Stella and I'm waiting to find out why. I will get to the bottom of it, don't worry. While she's up there talking about how great of a relationship she has with her husband, so like, are you wearing a Chanel watch? Oh my god, yes you are. You're wearing a Chanel watch. What the fuck does that do with anything? She could be wearing a watch from Target, from Kmart. What would it matter? Brooke is honestly nasty. I think she's really just here to play a game. I mean, she's realized it's not going to work with her and Chris. That's it. She's here now to just fuck up with everybody's heads and then go back to her ex-boyfriend. The only person that we really seen on the guy side that I had an issue with is Steve. What is his problem? What's wrong with him? He stood up there and said, you know, there's a lot of green flags about Rebecca. There's multiple. It's really simple. But here's all my red flags. And then he went on this big spiel about her personality and her not being his type. She's not his type because she's not a young 20-year-old girl. She's not 20 to 30 and that's why she's not his type, because I read somewhere that his youngest child is like 8 years old. He goes for the younger girls. That's what he goes for. And I don't know why these older guys that are over 50 come on this show and think marriage Married at First Sight is going to match them with someone young. They're never going to do that because they'd get backlash. So you can stand there and you can say she has all these green flags and y'all are getting along so great all you want. I don't buy it. You're playing it fake. You clearly don't like her. You had this whole spiel of you don't like her personality, you don't like how she handles emotions, you don't like how everything, you don't like how she breathes. Just tell her, stop being fake about it. And then we got to Mel, who told the room there's 0 green flags about Luke. Can we actually stop the bullshit? Can she stop rage baiting us? Because that's what she's doing. She's rage baiting us at this point. There's no way that she thinks what she's saying is true. His red flags is that he's making her life a living hell, and that he's being malicious to her at every chance he gets. I just don't know if we're still being serious here or we're just joking. Like, are we being dead ass? She also said another green flag of his is that he sulks and throws himself in the bed face first. He probably sleeps on his stomach and is just resting, because I doubt that he's lying face first on the bed just sulking, crying over you. I know you wish that's the reason, but I don't think it is. I'm sure he's just sleeping and resting because you stress him out. She goes more on and on and on about how he just hates her so much and he's looking for all these reasons. He doesn't hate you. You hate him. And he's really tried with you, and I think you should stop trying. Stella and maybe even Alyssa seem like the only real girls there. Stella told them it's 50-50. Cut this girl shit. No, we have to believe women. We have to be on the girl side. Cut it. Cut the fucking bullshit. We're not doing that. We're not doing that here. We can all see that Mel is playing Luke. She doesn't like him. And then she's going to stand there and try and villainize him when he's done nothing wrong. This is what dangerous women do. That bitch is dangerous. She's going to get somebody put in prison. But Stella told them she's not on this girl-guy shit. It's 50-50. This girl shit is actually bullshit. All of the women that preach they're girls are always going to be the first ones to stab you in the back. They're never girls. If they have to tell you they are, they probably aren't. I understand that Stella did apologize to her for making her feel the way she felt, but she still stood on her opinion. She still stood on that shit. She's a real woman and I really respect Stella. She's got my support for the rest of the season and I'm looking forward to seeing how things go for her. That's week 1 in a fucking nutshell. Is Brooke's a bitch. Beck and Gia are obsessed with each other and Mel is crazy. One more thing before we go. What is going on with Grayson and I don't even remember her name, because they have not shown us anything to do with them except for them weird dancing in the living room. What's going on with them? We didn't see their green red flags. We didn't see them doing any of the fucking revelation challenges. They're ghosted. I don't know why they're hiding couples, but can we see them, please? It's about Married at First Sight, not all this bitching and hating. Can we see the real marriages, please? Let me know all your thoughts on this week in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because I will see you guys here for next week's episode.